Thanks for joining us on the Osceola with Caylan Arnold from ACC Network Extra and Florida State softball pitcher. She'll have a busy summer. We'll talk more about her summer a little bit later on, but we want to kind of wrap up the Florida State softball season, get into some off-season discussion. And I think let's maybe start with what was kind of the hot issue on Twitter and message boards, because this kind of happens in a silly season where, hey, there's an opening in the world of college athletics. Texas A&M had an opening for a softball coach, and would it be interesting if Coach Lonni Alameda were available and interested in going to Texas A&M? And I think that was pretty quickly shut down. Coach Alameda has a long-term contract here at Florida State, seems very happy. The program's in a great spot and growing, and we'll kind of get into some of the neat things that are going on here. But Caylan, obviously you pitched and played and know Coach really well. I'm sure you're thrilled that she's made this long-term decision to stay in Tallahassee.
Definitely. I personally didn't really have a doubt that she wasn't going to stay, just because like what she's put into this program and now seeing where, we've got the awning, we've got the new fence, we're getting the scoreboard, all of these awesome things that are happening for the program, just the building of the community and, how well the softball program has done in recent years in terms of, success and championships, World Series, appearances and things like that. So, and she's kind of a legend, Coach is a legend in Tallahassee. And I just don't see her, because she's never really been in it for the money. I'm sure that Texas A&M has a lot of money, they got the oil down there and stuff like that. But she's never been in it for the money. She's been in the growth and the development and the family aspect of the program. And so I didn't have a doubt that, she wasn't going to be staying in Tallahassee.
Yeah, and it's a long-term contract that Coach has with Florida State. It goes through June of 2028. As with a lot of those contracts, there's buyouts and incentives and all kinds of good stuff. No, she doesn't make as much as a lot of coaches out there. Of course, Oklahoma's paying Patty Gasso well over $1 million, and that's great for them and what they're able to do. But Lonnie's built something incredibly special here, and like you said, we're seeing some of that take shape already here on June 1. The old scoreboard. Rest in peace to the old scoreboard, because it has now come down today, Wednesday, June 1st. As I was walking by from track to baseball to my car, yes, was able to take a picture straight through from the parking lot to the Seminoles softball complex. And yes, it will be replaced by a much, much better, newer, nicer video board. And that's what's great, is the fan experience. You'll be able to see replays. The ladies in the dugout will be able to appreciate that. The parents who are going to all those games and kind of investing their time too. So good things to look forward to in 2023 in Tallahassee when you come back. Maybe it's up by the fall for the fall season. Who knows with the timeline there. But anyway, let's kind of shift into big picture on the season, the 2022 season. I think the way it ended, yes, was really a bummer, but lots of things to feel good about. Starting with an ACC title, going in with all those wins over big teams from down in Clearwater, going up to Alabama, exciting game up there on national TV. Oklahoma State, a couple of big wins in Tallahassee. Great to see a program like that come here. When you reflect on, yes, the players, Sydney Sherrill, Danielle Watson, and everybody who's coming back, but also this season, just what are kind of your thoughts on 2022 and what the team did on the field?
I am extremely proud of what the team was able to accomplish. I think that we saw a very different team this year versus last season when we went to the World Series. I think that this team obviously had a lot more power when it came to hitting. I think that Kat was even better this season, in my opinion, than she was last season because she was able to add in that rise ball. I think that her and Danielle worked really well together. I think the addition of Mac Leonard was huge, being able to have that closer come in. And also she, we saw her as a starter in the field, but she did an amazing job at first base, replacing Elizabeth Mason, and also added a big bat in the lineup. We can talk about Michaela Edenfield and how exciting it is to see what she was able to do as a freshman with, 16 home runs and some other really amazing things, and just look forward to what she's going to be able to do as she continues to grow as a player. I think the same thing, with Kaylee Harding. She really started to come alive there at the end. And we know, she's got that cannon of an arm out in the outfield. Devin Flaherty, we saw a lot of consistency from her all season long. She really stepped up as a leader, in my opinion. So, we are losing two huge parts of the team. We're losing Danielle Watson and we're losing Sydney Sherrill. So that is going to be really hard to fill those shoes. Especially, Sydney being the type of player and leader that she was on the field, and just that defensive, ridiculous player. So she's definitely, but I'm excited because, people said that about Jessie Warren. They were like, oh my gosh, who's going to take over third base for Jessie? What are we going to do when we don't have Jessie anymore? And then Sydney stepped in and she filled those shoes perfectly. And so I'm excited to see who they bring in next, because I think the coaches do a very good job of recruiting and, filling those spots. So all in all, I'm very, very proud of what this team was able to do. Winning the ACC championship, I think, was huge after losing it last season, coming back and saying, hey, we're still a part of the ACC. We're still going to make some noise. We're not done here. And like you said, doing what they did in Clearwater with those big wins against so many great teams, and teams who like UCLA and or not Oregon State, Oklahoma State and Florida and Texas, who are in the World Series right now. So getting wins over those teams, and it is unfortunate the way that it ended. Definitely not what anybody expected, but the team had an amazing season and just had one bad day. But you can't let that one bad day reflect what that team was able to do. So.
Yeah, I think the postseason is what it is. It's very unforgiving, and one bad day, it wasn't. It clearly wasn't their best. It was maybe one of their worst. But honestly, right through the ACC tournament, that Friday performance was a 5-inning no-hitter. The Saturday, I believe, was a 1-hitter, and it was literally off Sydney's glove. It would have been an amazing defensive play for her to make that. But I think let's just spend a few minutes briefly on that Sunday where Mississippi State played two really great games. It may be some base running issues. I think were kind of the big takeaways long term that we'll remember. Just some circumstances where Devin, I think, left first just maybe a little bit early. And I know Coach Alameda seemed kind of frustrated with that post game, saying they really haven't been called for that during the season. Just maybe some of your thoughts on that Sunday, those games, and some of those big plays that end up kind of hurting in the end.
Right. And I completely agree with you talking about Devin leaving early. They hadn't been calling that all season. And when you go back and you watch the replay, because even the announcers were kind of disputing it, it was like a split second early. And I just personally think that that's ridiculous. It was so close. And Devin, if you've watched Devin all season long, she's been a phenomenal base runner. She hadn't been thrown out, I don't think. And just, she was great at it. And so as an umpire, I think that you really have to look at that and say, okay, no, she's a good base runner. She's fast. Okay, she left a split hair early. You don't need to be that technical, let the girls play, in other words. I know Coach is a big advocate of just let the girls play. She hates it when people slow the game down and stuff like that. But yeah, there were a few things, I think there were several runners left on base. There were a few times where I think I think that we could have done a little bit more small ball, maybe been a little bit scrappier, like we had seen, Florida State do in the past. Florida State is known for being scrappy, but as we had seen this team all season long, relying on the long ball and being the power hitters that they are. And so I think that's what happened is they were like, okay, somebody's going to come up, somebody's going to hit the home run, and then it didn't happen. So it was, I think maybe just a little bit smarter softball, a little bit grittier. I don't know. It was just crazy and unfortunate that it happened to be on that day that things kind of didn't, work out the way that they usually do. But you live and you learn, and the girls that were a part of this team that are coming back next year have learned from this, and they're going to be able to take that into next year.
And thinking ahead just a little bit into next year, I'm curious for your thoughts. You mentioned Sid Sherrill, Danielle Watson, and yeah, Sid replaced Jesse. So let's play this out. If you were looking at the current roster, who might you try and put at third base first? Is there a current player? Is there a potential transfer portal person? And we don't have to mention names. Let's just keep it, just your thoughts in general. Who would be a good third base option as you're kind of looking at things right now?
Right. Well, whenever they did take Sydney out, Christina Hartley was the one that would replace her. So I think she may be their go-to at the moment. Probably going to test her out in the fall and see how she does, see how things work. As far as transfers go, I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure the shortstop from Duke is in the transfer portal. She would be, a great asset, and maybe move her to third, keep Muffley or Blankenship at shortstop. You never know. So, but I do know that Christina Hartley has been kind of the one to go in there. And then as far as pitching goes, replacing Danielle is going to be very hard. But we do have Allie Dubois, who had to redshirt this whole year because she went into the transfer portal a little bit too late, and then they changed that rule. But she'll be coming in. I'm not sure what freshmen we have coming in next year, but then there are possible transfers to come in as well. I mean, you've got Lexi Kilfoyle in the portal, you've got Alex Storako in the portal, so some big name pitchers who could make a difference. And so maybe we could add one of them to the roster and then help complete that staff. But that's what I'm thinking.
Well, good options. There's never a shortage of depth, and I think Lonni Alameda is playing chess when a lot of coaches are still trying to figure some things out. She's thought a few years ahead, and even Mac Leonard could be a really good option. We know she's pitched at Illinois State. We know she's pitched here. How much will she pitch next year as opposed to staying at first base? All good things to kind of let play out in the fall and in the spring too. Okay, well, busy summer for you, and maybe let's start talking a little bit about Sunday Golds. I know you got a big event at BW3 a week ago where a lot of the ladies were out for doing an autograph ceremony. I know you want to kind of thank the fans and touch a little bit on what some of the things you guys are doing with Sunday Golds this summer.
Yeah, so first I want to say thank you to everybody who came out to that autograph signing. It was so fun. We had a really great turnout, a lot of little kids getting to meet the girls. It was a lot of fun. I think I was saying I sold a lot of autographed softballs. So thank you to everybody who purchased one of those. It was really fun. I hope to do, more of that kind of stuff maybe in the fall, because my summer is crazy busy, which is good. But I have a t-shirt, a new tank top coming out this summer. And it's a softball specific shirt. And it doesn't have anything to do with really Florida State, but it's still a fun summer softball tank top. And then I have a hat coming out as well. It's going to be garnet and have, Florida State softball on it. So it's super exciting. And, but then that's pretty much all that I have for this summer, because my summer is pretty crazy.
Yeah, we'll kind of finish with your summer plans, but I know a lot of people will be curious. You've been watching a ton of softball here between the ACC, super regional teams, the SEC super regional teams. Obviously, Florida is in the Women's College World Series. It's been pretty wild. If you were trying to play this out based on chalk, you would lose badly if you are doing a softball field of 64 bracket. A lot of host teams did not make it. But kind of what are your thoughts as you've had the chance to watch these games unfold? Kind of what were your thoughts as this, everything with softball now kind of lead into OKC and the women's CWS?
So crazy postseason. Did not expect anything that happened. So I think I was saying like 5 out of the 7 teams in regionals got upset. And then I did not expect Oregon State to beat Stanford. I did not expect Northwestern to beat Arizona State. It was insane. And so the teams, that are now in the World Series, we don't have any ACC teams. We only have one SEC team, and it's Florida. And I did not expect Florida with the season that they had to make it as far as they did. So just a lot of upsets, a lot of crazy things happening. But if you want kind of what I think is going to happen, I think that it's going to be a championship between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. And I think, the entire World Series softball complex is going to be flooded with Oklahomians, and that it's going to be a sold out however many games it takes for them to win. I do believe that Oklahoma is going to come out the winner. I think that they're just still so dominant, and it's going to be really hard to make it past that offense more than once. I know, and I've been there, but it's going to be crazy. I mean, I don't know. The postseason so far hasn't turned out at all like I expected it to. So it could be something crazy. We could see Northwestern as the Women's College World Series champion. You never know, but that is my pick. I believe it's going to be Oklahoma.
And all those games, 4 of them starting on Thursday. So you've got a bunch of games, ESPN, ESPN2, ABC, all through the weekend and into next week. So it's a good time to be a softball fan and watching all those. Caylan, I know you've got a busy summer, and it's going to be playing professional softball. There's a lot of good professional softball going on around the country. Maybe just talk a little bit about Athletes Unlimited, what you're going to get the chance to do.
Athletes Unlimited has started a new season called AUX, which will start June 13th. It's the first official play day. We will get drafted by our team captains on the 11th. So we'll figure out what teams we're going to be playing on. But it's really exciting because it's allowing more athletes, because Athletes Unlimited also includes basketball, lacrosse, volleyball. It's allowing those athletes to be able to extend their career and play professionally in the U.S. So excited. It's going to be right after the end of the World Series, so you can come off the hype of watching college softball and go right into pro softball and watch your favorite athletes play pro. It's going to be great. I know that I am the only Florida State alumni, I believe, who's going to be in AUX, but in the regular Athletes Unlimited season, you have Sydney Sherrill, who got drafted by AU, and Jesse Warren, who's been playing for AU for a while. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of really, really great softball. So you can watch that for the month of June. And then when the regular season starts in August, you can turn around and watch that as well. It's so important, though, that we support these professional softball athletes. All the games will be on ESPN so that we can keep doing this, and we can try to build this professional softball league so that your favorite players can continue their careers after college. We have the WPF now, the Women's Pro Fast Pitch League, that was started by Lauren Chamberlain. She's the commissioner. And so that includes the Pride and the Florida Vipers. So Danielle Watson got drafted by the Pride. They play down in Space Coast Stadium in Florida. So go down there and support her and just continue to support these females and these athletes and help grow the professional league so that we can keep playing.
It's been cool to watch. The sport is growing and fans have embraced it. The ratings have been incredible. I think the ACC tournament final had the best ratings of the big conference championships. So you can tell that people are into it. They're wanting to watch, and it's a fun, fast-paced sport that we've loved. And that's a good place for us to wrap it up. I know Caylan's got a busy schedule, and enjoy the softball games as you watch on TV from OKC. We will all enjoy from our seats wherever we are. Caylan, thanks again for your time.
Thank you.